So today we're going to talk about the process of an owner-occupied staging consult and what that entails. Wanted to give you guys a little insight as to what happens when I show up for a consult for your client that is selling their house but still living in their home. As I'm pulling into your neighborhood, I'm looking at the neighborhood, I'm looking at the houses, I'm trying to see if you're, how your neighbors' houses stand out, if there's any other houses on the market. And we want yours to stand out and look the best in the neighborhood. So I'm not just showing up and going inside the house, we also go over everything on the outside of the house, including your yard, backyard, mailboxes, everything, starting from exactly how a buyer would see it as they're driving into that neighborhood. They're checking everything out. This is a perfect cabinet, like for living here, it's like a dump zone. Drop your keys, I drop my purse here. For selling, I would take this out. You never want buyers to do this, have to do that. Not everybody is the same size, and if you ever make buyers feel like they're having to squeeze through a space, it's gonna feel really cramped to them. So if this is something you guys can remove, I would. Some of the challenges that a lot of buyers face is when you have kids in the home or pets in the home. So those are things I also address with my sellers. Is this desk used all the time? I figured you would say that. Yeah. Okay. So I will say that is crowding the space a little bit. We sometimes can talk about not leaving kid toys in every single space of the home, but designating maybe a space in the basement for a toy room. You want to show each space exactly how it was intended. This is one of those things that can be tough, but I will say with this being the formal dining room, you do want it to feel that way, and that feels kind of crowded to me. My job really is to come alongside your sellers and come up with solutions for what they're dealing with, because you still have to live in the house while it's on the market. You'll remove everything from the top of the fridge. Again, just that lack storage when you store stuff up there, even if that's not the case. Storing food on top of your refrigerator is, again, reminding buyers maybe there's lack of cabinet space. So you want to take these kind of things off while it's on the market, so that buyers don't have any thought that maybe there's not enough storage for them. One more thing you could do in here to really update this kitchen that won't cost a lot is to add just even the stainless knobs to the door fronts here. When you update these, it actually is going to even make it feel even more updated, and in your price point and what you're trying to get, I think it would be smart. Kitchens and baths sell all day long, so anything else you can do in the kitchen to kind of make it feel updated without replacing cabinets will help. This is your family room, which is obviously a big deal. The fireplace is a big deal. I do think that this is going to have to come out. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think it's too much for the space for selling. It's always best to not walk into a room and walk into the back of a piece of furniture, like a large couch. Walking into the back of furniture is never good, and it's really making the space feel smaller, and this is actually a really good sized room. I do think that we are gonna need 2 lamps in here for sure because it's darker. Lighting is very important when you're selling your home. You wanna try and open up curtains and blinds for pictures as well as for your walkthroughs when people come to look. Taking away maybe some darker pieces of furniture or adding lighter colored pillows to the couch to just kind of lighten it and brighten it. But lamps are very important. If you don't have overhead light, you must have light in each room. And then also on picture day, have your curtains open. So these I know there's only one on each. Have this one open all the way to the left, have that one open all the way to the right, and then just frame the window. And then same with these, just have them open. The more light you can bring in, the better. If you get a showing and you have these toys here, I don't think it's going to be anything, it's not even going to be a big deal. But for the picture day, just have those little type of things out, because they do professional photos, so every little thing shows up. This rug in this space really needs to come out because they have these beautiful floors down here, plus the scale of that rug does not work with that couch. It's actually making that space feel a lot smaller. So I'm asking that these buyers remove this rug and put the coffee table in its place, and it's really going to open up that space a whole lot more. I really do try and think through that with them when they have lack of storage, or maybe not the finances to go get a rental unit for storage. You'll want to take down any of the items with his name on it as far as his trophies. You can leave some sports stuff up. We're not trying to take the fact out that it's a kid's room or it's a boy's room. Take anything off the floor to make that space feel bigger. So all the video games here, the guitar, things on the floor, let's get them in a closet. Edit what's on the dresser there. In here, it's again just going to be getting a lot of the things I think off the floor. I don't think you need to paint. Typically, I'll say maybe let's paint that a neutral color. But it really just depends. Just remember that any of the non-neutralizing that you don't do is just another negative or another thing on your buyer's checklist. If they feel like they have too many to-dos on their list, they may offer on another house. Okay, so the master bedroom is the most important room up here. And I kind of like people to envision maybe the nicest hotel they've ever walked into, understanding that's not reality. But if you think about a nice hotel, and when you walk in, it's like, it just feels really cozy. If you're in a nice one, it feels really cozy. You just want to like jump into bed and you want to live there. In the master bedroom, again, we want to remind buyers of a nice high-end hotel. You know, fluffy bedding is good. You want to make sure that the bed is in the right location of the room, maximizing the space, showing it off. I would touch up the paint in here if you have it. The master bedroom of all the bedrooms is one of the rooms that I would say if you need to paint, I would not have, you know, let's say just no dark colors in there. You want it to feel airy and bright, and so touching up the paint in there is definitely going to be important. If you don't paint any of the other bedrooms or it's not neutral, that's one area I will highly, strongly recommend you keep neutral and touch up if it's needed. I would say I would definitely look into seeing if we can't at least do this in here. There's outdated light fixtures in several of the bathrooms. But in this case, the master bathroom, I really feel like the seller needs to look into possibly replacing what's there, because I think in this neighborhood, buyers are going to expect a more updated light in the master bedroom. If you guys paint in there and we make it feel bigger and we do this in here, you know, I think it's going to really update the space. When I come up, I will jokingly tell people that I will overwhelm you. The good news is I will overwhelm you before it goes on the market. Here's the thing, if you do 90% of what I'm recommending you to do, yes, it's going to overwhelm you. It may take some time and it may be a little bit challenging. My job is to help you through those challenges, walk you through the process even after I leave. When you do these things, what the benefit is that you're going to have your house on the market for, you know, a lot less time, which means less showings, so you're not having to pick up as much, because hopefully you will have an offer sooner and then you can kind of relax. If you don't do these things, you're going to be sitting on the market a lot longer. You're going to be even more stressed out because you're going to start reducing the price, or the house isn't going to sell, or you're not getting showings. I understand people may not want to do every single thing I recommend, but again, the more you do, the more move-in ready you can make a house feel to a buyer, the quicker you're going to sell your house. They need to feel like it's their house. They need to mentally unpack so that they'll write the offer. And so these are all things that we do to get them to do that. You want them to feel like they've just stepped into their brand new house.